Coming straight out of Ecamm. This is a town of the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham. This is a town of the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham. This is a town of the Ecamm fam. This is a town of the Ecamm fam. This is a town of the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham.
Hold it, stop the music!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Can I please have your attention?
It's showtime. Are you ready? Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, let's go.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Paul.
Hello. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. It's Wednesday. It's August, which is birthday month for both you and me. It couldn't be better.
Yes.
Couldn't be better. And here hanging out for another office hours. So if you are new to office hours, this is your time. You can drop in any kind of questions that you have, comments, chat with everyone else in the chat. We're going to spend the next 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many questions we get, just kind of covering the basics of the Ecamm fam, the Ecamm community space, where to find everything, all of the resources, updates, everything in between.
Yep. We're an open book.
Yeah, thanks, Val. Yeah, I know. It's just Paul and I are like our birthday buddies. We're I think 10. You're the 21st, right, Paul?
Yep.
Yeah, we're 10 days apart. Exactly 10 days apart. That's how old we both are. Yeah, I'm excited. I took my birthday off tomorrow. I'm going to go do all the birthday things, which for me is just eating. Paul and I were just talking about for me, birthday gifts is like I'm gonna go out for breakfast with my mom and lunch with one of my friends and then dinner with another friend. It's just tons and tons of eating.
Perfect birthday.
Exactly. All right. Well, before actually we jump in, I normally do this at the end, but since people still jumping on, we may just swing over here to a couple of upcoming things happening in the Ecamm world, just so everyone's aware. So the first here is that we're doing another workshop. I know that these have been like wildly popular, so we're really excited to bring this one to you. This is the Ecamm Tools and Tech Workshop. It starts next week. Next week for anyone here in North America is Labor Day is the Monday, so we're actually going to start on the Tuesday. But this is a completely free workshop. It's happening on YouTube. And if you register, you get access to a bunch of bonus content, which you're going to want because Alec is incredible and he's put together just like a wealth of information. So to sign up for this one, you need to go to ecamm.tv/tech, TECH tech, and that'll get you registered in for this. Again, it's completely free. All we're sending you is the bonuses and freebie content. I promise we're not spamming anyone with anything, but that is the Tools and Tech Workshop next week starting Tuesday. And then straight out of Ecamm, we're doing a really fun LinkedIn live stream at the end of September 27th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on LinkedIn Live. And we're just going to talk through some of the cool shows that we do, including this one. So, this is a great chance to share with all your friends and let everyone know about everything that Ecamm is up to and just come and hang out and get to know some of the show hosts better. I think it'll be a really fun time. It's hosted by Dan Roth, who's one of our Ecamm users. He's a huge member here in the community. He's done a really great job supporting everyone. So looking forward to that. I think those are all the upcoming things we're aware of. Obviously, camp, we're like focused on Greater Camp, but got to keep all that stuff up for all the people who aren't able to make it to camp. So these are the next things.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to camp.
Me too.
I just have to figure out what kind of clothes I need to bring, being a California kid.
Layers. Bring lots of layers. In New England, it's always like, today it's scorching hot. Just kidding, cold. Do you have your hat? Just kidding, hot again. Now it's raining.
When I used to travel a lot for business, I would forget that it rains in other parts of the country in the summer. And so I'd go place. It was like I ended up with this collection of umbrellas.
Oh my gosh.
How much?
Yeah, I've gotten, this year was the first year where it feels like it's rained every single day this summer, which I feel like is going to make for a great fall. It's going to be amazing colors. It's going to be sunny every day in the fall. But I definitely bought myself a couple of extra umbrellas to just leave in like places around, one in the office, one in the car, one, because it was that kind of weather. All right, well, let's jump into some of these questions. I think I have a couple that have come in. I'm just scrolling back up. Hey, thanks to everyone for your birthday wishes. As we were saying at the top, it's birthday month for Paul and I, so we appreciate it. Welcome, Dr. Carol. Dr. Carol's having a challenge, new to Ecamm. Welcome. And loving the power of the program. Struggling with interview. I originally had a huge lag with my own camera, but I got a Camlink 4.0. Okay, so you're using Ecamm and you're using interview mode, and you are having a lag with your camera that is connected in through a Camlink. Yeah, interesting. What would cause a lag, Paul?
It's not unusual. What you may want to do is go into your preferences under. I'm assuming that the lag is between the sound and the camera. I'm trying to fake it till I make it in here. If you go into your preferences into the audio tab,
here we go.
Down below
I'm going to show 1 sec. We're going to turn on live demo mode here. All right, so I'll walk through. I'm in beta, but you can be in the regular version. It'll look the same here as far as that goes. Preferences, yeah, okay, and then in audio. Yep, and then the mic delay. Is that what you're thinking of down here?
Exactly. Most of us have that set around, I want to say, it can be 0 or it can go up. Sometimes it's 3, 5. It has gotten better, but I would play with that a little bit. Just try. And then what you can do is you can count and, record locally, count yourself 1, 2, and just see how off it is. And you may have to adjust it a little bit. Yeah. But it kind of depends on the camera you're using and that. But that's one thing that you can adjust to fix the lag.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Diana Gladney did a video that talked about mic delay and about like initial camera setup settings. She was talking specifically about one of the Sony cameras, but the same principle would apply to any of the cameras. So if you look in the Ecamm Simplified series here on our YouTube channel, you should be able to find some extra stuff there. And I think, Carol, if you, I feel like you asked this question in the Discord. So, if you want to post a video like of what you're seeing into the Discord, that would help us as well to be able to just diagnose it a bit better, but hopefully that helps. All right, let me just jump out of, drive everyone crazy here in live demo mode. All right, the guest is delayed and irregular. I think it's some setting. Oh, okay, so your camera's okay, Carol, but your guest is coming in. That also might be an internet issue. You might want to have your guest run a speed test. So if you go to speedtest.net, or send that over to your guest and make sure that their upload speed is what you're looking for, and you want it definitely above 5 megabytes per second for uploading, but that might have something to do with it. But yeah, also that definitely mic delay is still worthwhile to try for you and your guest. Scrolling.
And I'm going to post a link to Marshall did a video on mic delay.
Oh, great.
I'll pop that in there too.
All right. I think that's it for the questions. So keep those coming throughout. And Carol, feel free to follow up with more questions. And as I said, oh yeah. All right. So he's got fine internet. Yeah. So it must be a mic delay.
Yeah. And one thing, a lot of people talk about, the internet is fine and all this stuff, but when you look at internet speed, you need to look at the two parts. You need to look at the upload speed and the download speed. Because like with me, I have 1 gig download, which is great when I'm want to watch stuff, but the upload speed is the important stuff because that's what it's going to be when you're sending it out to the internet.
Yeah, you're
Now, I
uploading.
still
Yeah.
I have fairly good upload. I have 40, but I've seen some people that, are 10 or less, and they have great download, but they have really poor upload. So when you look at internet speeds, be sure to look at both sides of the fence.
All right, Carol, I'm not sure if it's not a mic delay. It's a whole audio video delay. Can you do us a favor? I'm fairly positive you posted this in the Discord, but if not Discord, then certainly our Facebook group works too. But if you want to post a video in so that we can see what you're seeing, and maybe even like a screenshot of what some of your settings are, that would really help the team, and we'll be able to jump on afterwards and diagnose and troubleshoot with you. Because we want to get that solved. That's not a fun feeling to have delays.
Yeah, no.
All right, Victoria. Hey, welcome, Victoria. Asks, I'm a musician, love it, and recording my gigs via Ecamm. I have a pro membership, and I'm just wondering if it's possible for me to record others who play in the same venue remotely. It is. The best way to do that would be others who are playing in the same venue remotely. You probably want to leverage the interviewing tool and bring them, send them a link if they're in a different part of the building or what have you. They can come in that way. And then if you have them as a feed coming in, then you can use Ecamm's isolated video and audio recordings, so that then you'll have them kind of in the show, however you want that to look or sound, whether it's split screen or full screen or whatever. But you'll have their individual video files as well and audio, so you'll be able to mix and repurpose that however you want to later. Is probably the best way to go about that. But yeah, I think that'll be awesome. And I'm sure that we have a ton of musicians again in the community or in the Discord. So it's definitely, if you want to test that out with some of them, you can always, anyone here, like anyone watching or listening, if you're in either of those groups, you are welcome to, share videos there or do a test stream. Just what we ask is just make sure you label it correctly so that we don't get confused and think you're spamming the group in some way. So just write like, I'd like to test out this so that people know how to jump on and best help you. But yeah, let's do a test. Doing test interviews is great in the community because there are lots of members who have never used interview or who've never been an interview guest or, and likewise, there's tons of members who are experts at it. So it's a nice way to get a good mix and a good mix of people from all over the world and with all different kinds of internet. And it's a good way to kind of just see what might go wrong and what you might not be aware of and how the process goes. It's a nice way to kind of practice.
Yeah, and if you're having trouble on a stream or something like that, and you want some assistance too, we suggest that you clip out the section where you're having problems. So rather than posting an hour or 2 hour stream, just post the piece where you're having the problems that you want help with, because that saves people from having to go digging through the stream and looking, and you'll probably get a better response. Because a lot of times, I've done this. I've looked at something and it's like, if I have to go looking for something and I'm busy, it's, I may just think I'll come back to that later, and it doesn't happen.
I'm like squirrel.
Exactly.
It's a good tip. All right. Well, we wait for more questions to come in. Let's jump over. We usually in the show just kind of go through some of the basics here. So if you're brand new, or if you want to help us let new people know, this is the Ecamm website, ecamm.com. I'm actually specifically on ecamm.live here, so I can kind of see the Ecamm Live specific, but if you click in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see there's like a little bubble orange icon that pops up this "Hi there, how can we help?" option. This is a chat. This is not. This is the best and easiest way to open a ticket with our support team, our tech support experts, to be able to answer your questions. And it's a chat back and forth, but it isn't as kind of immediate real time as you would think. So our team is not on 24/7. So you can kind of see here where they're at and how long it typically takes for them to get back to you. So just have a little bit of patience with us. The best way that you can make this process go as fast and as easy as possible is to just be really clear with what's going on up front. So let them know, like, what is happening. If you have a clip, to a video example, that would be great, or screenshots that, show as much as possible. That's also great. They are going to follow up and ask some additional questions. So have a little bit of patience with that. They're asking that so that they can help rule out what it's not and get closer to the answer as fast as possible. So it's a really, should hopefully be a fairly seamless process, but that's how that process works back and forth when you click through. You'll also see there are some like AI articles and things that will automatically pop up in that search bar if you just want to look for help, look for, what you want to search about or what you need help with. And those are pulling from this knowledge base. So this is support.ecamm.com. And here we have literally articles on just about everything. When people ask us a bunch of questions, we write an article about it, and we resource and reference these often. So this is a really great spot. If you're having an issue, likely the answer is here somewhere. If you want to know more about a particular feature or tool within Ecamm, this is the space to go, and it's all searchable and updated frequently. So it's a great resource here. And it includes even things like just account and billing questions, all of that kind of in between stuff. But this is a great place to go. And then if you're like Paul and I, and you want to like really read everything, you can shoot over to the Ecamm Live manual, which is learn.ecamm.com. This has step by step every single aspect within Ecamm Live, and Glenn has been like real diligent about updating this. So it has every single thing all the way through, and you can click through all the different tools. It's a really huge resource if you want to read through and check out all of the videos and everything that's embedded in here. This links back to some of the more detailed support articles as well. But yeah, that's the basics on where to find help and where the resources are. And then most of you are familiar. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, one thing about when you're working with support, support doesn't know necessarily who you are or how much you know or what, troubleshooting things that you've done.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I find this a lot with me when I'm working with people. When you start out, there are some basic things that you kind of need to check, and support will start walking you through this list of, have you done this? Have you done this?
Yeah.
You may have done it. You may be somebody that's, been in computers for 40 years and knows everything under the sun, but support doesn't necessarily know that. And even me, knowing things that I should be doing, or when I'm checking stuff, I will forget to do things. So just be patient with support. They're going to walk you through some basic stuff. And if you've done it, do it. I mean, I've worked with Valerie, we tinker back and forth on stuff, and I've had some issues, and she'll kind of go through the same thing. And it was like, yeah, done that. Oh, I didn't do that.
Sometimes it's the obvious thing, like, is it plugged in? Do you need to restart? It is amazing, some of those things that like, you're like, of course I've done that. And you're like, oh wait, no, I didn't do that.
I was having trouble the other day, and it was like, is it plugged in? Yeah, it's plugged in, and all this stuff. And then I finally realized, yes, it was plugged in, but I was using the wrong kind of cable.
Yeah.
And so I was using a charging cable and not a data cable. So, it was, but yeah, just be patient with them as they walk back. And, they try to get back to you as quickly as possible, but sometimes it can take a couple hours,
Yeah.
It's a small group of people. So just be patient.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to you.
Yeah, we promise. And if it's the case where it's, you're not at the point yet where, you think it's like a really serious issue, or you want recommendations on things, or you just want to like test something out to figure it out. Like maybe it's like where Carol's at right now, where it's like, oh, this is happening. It's probably something like that I'm just missing, or a feature, or, I've done something maybe. That's a great spot to jump into this community space. This is here on Facebook, but you can, if you're not a Facebook person, we have like a really kind of similar feel on Discord. So either of those spaces is a great place to just say, hey, I'm working through this particular thing, and I love your feedback and your opinion. The thing to keep in mind with the community is that this is like I think there's like somewhere in the market of 20 to 25,000 people that are sitting here in this Ecamm Live community, which is incredible. But they are a very wide range of users, right? Some people are brand new. Some people have been doing it for years. Some people are like, have been in like the world of television and radio for a lifetime. So you are going to get a lot of different, results for the questions that you ask. So just keep that in mind. So, someone may come back and say one thing and someone may come back and say a different thing. That's because everyone's coming at it with really different perspectives. And this is not necessarily the official Ecamm response on something. So if you think it's a bug or a problem with the software, or, or there's just something that's going really wrong, this is probably not the best place to be posting that kind of stuff, because these are regular users of all different kinds of backgrounds who are just helpful, awesome people that are trying to help. So, and our moderators who, certainly are in it and in the weeds all the time. But what I really want to say is that, like, what breaks my heart is when people who are having like an actual real serious problem and need to be talking to support spend a lot of time posting it into the group instead, because they think the answer there will be faster, but it may not be the right answer, and it may not actually get the problem solved, because Ken and Glenn are the ones who are developing and making updates and changes and solving bugs, not moderators, not me. And, so the support team needs to see those kinds of problems.
Yeah, and support doesn't, they don't know there's a problem unless people tell them there's a problem. So there may be something, very true that's happening, going on, and they're not going to see it or be able to fix it because they don't know what's happening. So it's important to kind of reach out to them.
Yeah. And as we said before, this is like a great space to practice, but also to like say, give as much context as you're able to, because you're going to get the best results that way. And so, that could include things like, what machine are you running? There is a really big difference between an Intel Mac and the new Apple Silicon Macs, right? So that kind of stuff does make a difference, and having that information up front can help get those questions or get that guidance back to you as fast as possible.
There's even a difference between an M1 Mac Mini in the original, when it originally came out, and an M1 Mac Mini today.
Yeah.
It's still an M1, but there is a performance difference between them. So, that's important too. It's like, I have a Mac Mini. That's great. What year was it? And is very helpful. Is it an M1, M2?
And then the reality too is that, we do a lot of testing, and we have a beta group, and we spend a lot of time testing out all of these features before they roll out to everyone broadly. But that doesn't mean that every single feature has been used in every single use case, right? So like, it is conceivable that, you might run into something that is being caused by, the fact that you are on, a specific model of computer, and we just haven't seen it yet. So, I see questions sometimes in the community like, I have a MacBook Air. This is a common question, right? I have a MacBook Air, and, and I've been streaming totally fine for the last, year or 2 years, no problems at all. And now it's not working. And like, why isn't it working? And the reason that these issues come up is because each different computer has a different level of capability and a different level of power. And some of them are just not built for all of the different kinds of incredible video work and video processing that you're putting on your machine. So it's not like us saying like, you can't use all of these different things. It's just that at some point you're gonna bump up against, different limitations the more you're pushing your machine and what you're pushing your machine to do. And we're not going to know any of that until someone tests it and tries it. And it's either going to be us, or it may, in some cases, be you. And so, have a little bit of patience there and try to give us that information on what your setup looks like, and what kind of what external things you're using as well. I mean, you might be using a Rodecaster or an A10 Mini, or maybe you're using, a different kind of, camera from what the rest of the group is using. All of these things connecting into your computer could all be connected. That's all part of your workflow and your tech chain. So,
and with external devices like a mic, a camera, or something else like that, if it's not working with Ecamm, what I suggest to do is like open something like QuickTime or something like that. Can you see the camera in there? Can you hear the mic from there? Check other applications, because basically Ecamm only sees what your system sees. So if in another application it can't see that, it's not showing up in there, then there's a problem with the equipment itself or a cable that's connecting it or something else. It's not. It's the problem's not in Ecamm. It lays outside of the Ecamm. And while there's lots of things that you connect to Ecamm and get it to work with, we can't test or have not been able to try
Yeah.
every possible piece of equipment that's out there. So,
Yeah. Doc has almost
if
all of it, but not all of it.
yeah,
He's close.
yeah, Doc's a good one with it, but it may not be that, it may not be a situation where they can totally help you. They can give you some guidance and some ideas, but they may not be able to completely fix your problem because, it's something that, they don't have experience with or things
Yeah,
like that.
it's not being caused by Ecamm
Yeah.
itself. So yeah. And those are like those kinds of questions. And this is why, I'm so excited that Alec is doing this tech and tools workshop
Yes.
because there are so many like incredible. Stream Deck is another one, right? The Rodecaster, certainly any of the Rodecaster products have been fantastic. And many of our users use these products on a regular basis and love them and swear by them. But like we at Ecamm only have so much control over what those products do, right? So we are in control of what Ecamm is using them to do and like the kind of connection point between them. But, this is a great opportunity to really learn the inside and the outsides of all of these products. And also, like in the community and in Discord, a lot of representatives from these companies are also Ecamm members and they're in those groups. So those spaces and during a workshop like that is a great time to ask, if you're using any of those products, how they work, how they connect in, where some of the pain points might be, how to troubleshoot some of that, because that group is going to be a better resource than a tech support person who, knows everything about Ecamm, but it isn't all the time using all of these external devices, right? So like our tech support team are not live streaming every single day with all of these different pieces of gear. So it's just something to keep in mind.
We've all been caught in the situation where it worked today and then, somebody's updated the firmware on some piece of equipment or something, and then all of a sudden, it's broke. So, that happens a lot too. So, if you're having problems, just be aware. Did you update something recently? Has something been updated? Those types of things, because, the problem can be on the other end of the puzzle.
Yeah, I the other day, so I'm like super guilty of this, right? I update Ecamm all the time because it's like, I'm in it all the time. I never remember to update all of the other stuff, right? So I use my Shure mics like at home, on the go, here in the like all the time, Team Shure all the way, right? I had not updated my Motive app in it was embarrassing. Like Laura was here in the office and she and Doc were doing a stream and she's like, oh, I'll just open up the Motive app. And I'm like, I have that app. I'm like, I'm Team Shure. And it was so badly out of date. So it whether either do something like, make sure that those are automatically updating if you're comfortable with that. And if you're not, it may not be a bad idea to add into your checklist or, add into your calendar a regular check where you're like, oh, here are the tools that I'm using frequently. Are all of those apps updated? Am I checking in on all the firmware? Like, does anything else need to be updated? Because it can cause problems, right? Like, and then you're like, what's going on with Ecamm? Like, my Ecamm is all updated and everything's working fine. And that may be harder for our tech support team to be able to identify because, again, like they're looking for issues within Ecamm. So it's something to, Eden is saying, yeah, right? Zoom is always break, right? Like if you're not updated to the latest version, like it's just a best practice. And same with Ecamm, like knowing like that information is actually the most important information that you can pass on to our tech team when you're first reaching out to them. Like, so if only two things, right? It's like, what computer are you on? Like not how much RAM you have or like that doesn't matter as much. Like what specific computer are you on? And then also like what version of Ecamm are you running? Are you using the beta? Are you using the full release? And what is it updated? Like what is the version that you're running? Because those different changes that we're making on a regular basis, if you're on an older version, you may have missed a fix and maybe that's what's happening. And if you're on, like we said before, like maybe you're on an Intel Mac, for example, and you're trying to access one of our silicon only features. Like there could be things that are popping up that are causing issues that way. So those are the most kind of important things to keep in mind when you're trying to get help in troubleshooting quickly.
We will do our best to help you as much as we possibly can. And it's just remember it. I've worked with companies too, and I've had problems with issues, and I call up, and I'm ready to pull my hair out and frustrated. What I have to remind myself is I am upset with the product. I am not upset with the person that I'm talking to. And I have frequently started a conversation, and I said, I am really frustrated at this point in time, and I am sorry if I sound a little curse or something. I am not upset with you. I am just upset with the situation, and I
Yeah,
know you are
exactly.
the person that's going to be able to help me fix my problem. So
Yep.
if I say something or I come across rough, it's not meant at you. It's just I'm frustrated with what I'm doing, and I said I know that you're the person that's going to be able to help me solve my problem. So
Yeah.
sometimes approaching it with that thought can help you.
Yeah. There's just always something that is going to happen. I literally, right before we went live today, I just finished writing a blog article all about checklists and, getting ready for live streams. And so I was joking with Paul that I didn't go all the way through, although I think I'm pretty good. I even have my water, which has been a thing I never seem to remember lately. But I plugged my computer in because that was one of the things on my checklist. I have a laptop, so I'm constantly moving around. So it was like, all right, sit down and plug it in. And it kept connecting, like it was charging and then not charging and then charging and then not charging. And I'm like, what is happening here? And so I was like, all right, I'll take a second. I'll think about it. I'm like, all right, I have another cable. So I got a different cable, plug that in. No problem. So I have a bad cable. And I, had I not kind of taken a minute to notice that, that could have messed up my entire live stream. My laptop could have died halfway through this, or I could have, watched it ticking down, had to panic and run around for a new cord. But little things like that can happen. And sometimes in our frustration and panic over what issues that's causing, we don't think and kind of go through our checklist of troubleshooting. So I think if we all get a little bit better at troubleshooting and kind of keeping calm and going through our checklists of what's possible, I think we'll all be in better spaces, and then you'll be able to solve a lot of the issues that we're all having anyway. My gut is always to be like, oh no, it's something's happening. I need help from Ken and Glenn right now, and then I'm getting better at being like, okay, no, let's see what is the issue. It's my laptop isn't charging. Why? Okay, well, it was charging yesterday. What is different? Okay, this is a different cable. You have to kind of keep calm and step through. And that's not going to work in every single case, but it does work in a lot of cases that it ends up being something really, really simple, but it just feels way bigger because this stuff is important and it's really visual and really public. So it makes a much bigger difference when something goes wrong.
And I'm working on a database project with Caleb, and I'll send them a note and say, are you available? All this stuff. And then Caleb kind of knows to give me a little time because he'll come back and say, not right now. And then I'll usually type back, that's okay. I figured it out. And it's
exactly.
there's the panic, what did I do? I broke something.
I know, I've broken something. Yeah.
Never mind.
Exactly. Hank has a question, but I have a question back because I don't know who Kim is. But does Kim do short 5 to 10 minute clips on specific topics? Oh, does David typo David? Okay, well, let us know who Kim is from the previous shows that were streamed. Yeah, we do. So I don't know who the person is, but we do clips of many of the shows that we stream. The Flow is probably the one that we do the most kind of content repurposing from. Yeah. Although we were working up to doing a lot of the other shows as well, but there are definitely short clips and vertical videos and things for certainly The Flow and a lot of our other shows as well. If that's what you mean. If not, let me know if it's a different person. Now we need a Kim on our team.
He actually came back and said it with David.
Yeah, but I don't know who David is either. Does David do
David Hunt? David
I think
Hunt, maybe?
I think he's responding to David Hunt. He says, "Hey, a typo. It was a typo, David."
Okay.
Let us know, Hank. And we do generate a lot of content per week.
I can attest to that one.
We do. Actually, so if you haven't already, I posed a question and happy to just take live comments here too, but you can certainly post them in the community or Discord as well. But we're in planning for next year's Leap event, right? So every year since 2020, we've done a Leap into Live or Leap into Podcasting event where we cover like in depth a particular topic, and we invite a whole bunch of expert speakers in to teach us all about that topic. So we've done now live streaming, live selling, podcasting. I think we did 2 years of live streaming, 1 of podcasting, 1 of live selling. So we're thinking about like what topics do people want to learn about? It looks like right now in the poll that I posted on Facebook, workflows is winning. So like how to kind of think A to Z, like A to Z all the way through from start to beginning, which I'm thrilled to do. But if anyone has any other ideas of things that would be really helpful to cover in depth with some experts to help guide us through the process, I'd be thrilled to get that all lined up. And if you're like, hey, I'm an expert in this topic and I really want to be a speaker for Leap, this is like a really good time to send me an email, marketing@ecamm.com. We'd love to hear and chat with you a little bit more.
I
I
was
wanted to
thinking
do
that
reaction videos. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
the workflow and the repurposing kind of fit together. That would be kind of a cool topic.
Yeah, that would be. I think like the start to finish of it all. Yep, I said it. This is an incredible account name. Wants to do reaction videos. Yeah, you can absolutely do reaction videos. The easiest way to do that in Ecamm, and maybe Paul has a different way, but what I would do is I would use the widget overlay feature, which is in the overlays menu. And then that will allow you to, it depends on whether or not you're reacting to videos you own that are on your desktop or saved on your computer somewhere, or if you are reacting to videos that are on YouTube or on, something that you can search online. If they're on YouTube, I assume that that's what you're talking about, then you can use the widget overlays feature, and you literally just paste in the link and it'll play the video with sound, right in your Ecamm, and then you can position that window however you want. So if I was gonna, let me do one. Let's see here. We're gonna go options. We'll swing into live demo mode. All right. So if I was gonna come up here, I'd go up here to look at everyone is like, I do reaction videos. Great. Is this what you guys are all doing? All right, see here. So there's a video. I don't even know what this video is. Anything can happen. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we don't get copyright infringement. We just add, so there's a YouTube video link in here. You just add the widget overlay. See, it's a trailer for one of the movies. Right? So here I can
Hidden beneath the world we know
react.
is the world
Let me just
they
mute this. Okay, so I'm muting this here. So, but this is the video. Obviously the scene is like a little busy for it, but you can move it all around. If you hit option, you can crop it. Oh no, doing too much, spinning wheel of death. If you hit option and then you drag in, you can crop it down, you can move it all around, and it'll play sound. And you have these additional little features as well at the bottom. So there's a lot of functionality there to really build the scene however you want to build it. But that's probably the easiest way to do it.
I just dropped a link to a video that Marshall did in the Marshall Creates series, where he talks about creating reaction reels using Ecamm Live.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and right now we're live streaming in wide format, but if you wanted to do them as like vertical reaction videos, you would just need to come up here to the options menu and just change your stream shape to tall. And then again, you could use the widget overlay and shape and design the scene however it works best for you. But that would be how you would do reaction videos.
really easy and fun too.
Yeah, really fun. I've been a little bit more daring on my show, and I've been adding in trailers, which I feel like are fair use, public fair use if they're trailers, but I'm still a little trailers from like 80s movies, and I'm still like, oh, don't shut me down, YouTube.
Well, now with the new policies, you'll get a warning and you can take a course, and then if you aren't
Oh,
bad,
nice.
your warning will go away. So you
Oh, I
won't
love a
have to worry.
course. Okay. I do love a
This
course. Well, that's good to know. That is good to know. Yeah, you're welcome. I love it. Bring on the reaction videos. Yeah, those are always so fun.
Yes.
And there's so many different like ways that you can use them. So yeah, that'll be a great way to do it. We've been talking a lot too lately about the concept of really thinking through like the layout of your scenes so that you're able to just use this video to also be a vertical video, right? So Doc was talking about this the other week where this wouldn't work out very well, right? Because like Paul and I are next to each other here. But if I was to like come up and duplicate this scene, say, all right, so now here I'm in this new scene. And if I like, let's say I reposition myself like up here, so I know the vertical video is here in the middle. And then I brought Paul, down to size here like this. And then we took our names, this would be something that would work pretty well for a vertical video, right? And so this still looks okay, like wide. And I could put probably other things here, elements that maybe don't need to be in a vertical video, but might be fine in the wide. So I could upload this video itself right into, YouTube, but also Instagram, and it would be fine. I wouldn't have to repurpose it, right? So there's nothing worse than having to like do it twice. So in this case, if we just, if we live streamed or recorded this way, then it would just be really easy for us to use this in a vertical format.
Yeah, because Instagram is going to automatically crop the sides off. So
Exactly.
you don't have to worry about that as long as you're in the center when it does its cropping. Some people will do it like they'll create an overlay that kind of shows them where the center of the screen is, or different things like that. You can use things like that. But yeah, just recording it this way and then letting Instagram do its thing.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And yes, widget overlay. Yep. So overlays menu and then widget overlay. The only thing I haven't been able to figure out yet, and maybe Paul, this answer. We'll go back to this scene. Is so when I'm doing, so I do those widget overlays for my podcast, my video podcast, and I have I pay for the who knows what they call it now. It used to be YouTube Premium, YouTube Red, all the different YouTube. I pay for YouTube, so I don't have any ads. But when I'm streaming, even though I'm like logged into that account, sometimes ads show up and it really freaks me out because sometimes the ads are like really inappropriate and stuff I don't want in my podcast and I pay for it. So I'm not exactly sure how to do that with the widget overlays. Like, how do you make sure it comes from the correct account?
Yeah, sometimes I know there was some issues at one point where it didn't always log you in. So you had to go through in process because it didn't know that you were when you log into the widget, it's a whole new thing and it doesn't know you, so you've got to log into YouTube through the widget in order to get rid of those, which is a pain.
Yeah, but I mean might be worth it. They were showing like political ads on one of the movie trailers and I was like, I really don't want that in my video. Free advertising. Now we just need miniature comments when vertical. Yeah, I mean, you might not want to put comments on, I guess, if you're trying to think through how you're using that video for, or at least not during that part, I guess, that you're going to clip up later to use as a vertical video.
Just the vertical comments.
Exactly, vertical comments. I still do my like bonkers process maybe, but it works for me. My process that works for me I have like an extra scene that I create that I just call vertical video. And so like I will open up my scenes and before I go live, I just change that profile over to vertical temporarily and kind of readjust like all my graphics just in that vertical scene, record my video in vertical. Then when I'm done recording it, I just change it back over into the widescreen and then just jump off that scene onto one of the other scenes. It takes me like 2 seconds. And then, cause it's different, I'm recording like different content. It's like a different kind of short thing that's intentional before I'm actually streaming. So that works out really well for me. And it's a good reminder because every time I log in, I see that scene that's like vertical and I'm like, all right, I need to record my vertical trailer for the show. So yeah, it's another way that you can do it to be able to not have to reinvent the wheel later. All right, we only have 15 minutes left, Paul. Let me just scroll up here to other stuff. Keep those questions coming in, and if we miss it, we will definitely answer them in the comments if you're watching on replay or we miss your question. Where I'm reviewing some of our notes we got from our support team on things to make the support the support process easier for everyone. I think we covered most of these actually, which is
I think so.
which is great. I mean, really, in general, what we really want you to know is that the support team is there. The easiest and fastest way to get them is by going to ecamm.com and opening a ticket using that chat menu. A lot of things that you're experiencing might be caused by external factors. So, do a couple of quick troubleshooting tasks yourself before you reach out. You can always ask questions in the Facebook group or in the Discord. But if it's an issue with the app, that group is not going to be able to help you. They're just going to be able to give advice and recommendations. Or you've noticed a bug or you have a feature request, any of that. And then the two most important things to keep in mind when you're talking to support are what kind of computer you have. So like the actual specs of your computer, not RAM and not gigs, not any of that stuff, but just like it's a M1 MacBook from this year, that basic stuff. And then you also want to tell them what version of Ecamm you're running and whether it's beta or not beta.
And you can find that information out if you go to the system. What do they call it now? I want to say preferences, but it's not.
Oh,
System
yeah.
settings.
System settings.
Click on the About tab in there, and it will tell you the machine that you have, the year that you have, things like that. So it's, if you don't know what it is, that's a place to go to find it. And also keep in mind too, is if you're opening a ticket on the weekend, it's going to be a little bit longer to get a response on the weekends. So, Monday through Friday, they try to get back within an hour or two. And frequently it's quicker than that.
Yeah.
Just depends on how busy they are. But, everybody's treated the same, so, it's kind of a first in, first out, so it's, they will get to you. And
yeah, absolutely. All right. Some great questions coming in here. So we have George wanting to know about feature requests. So currently the best way to submit a feature request is to be part of either the Facebook group, the beta testing Facebook group, or the beta section in the Discord, because all of our new features and everything that we're developing and what the guys are working on always goes through the beta process. So in those groups, you can just literally say like, hey, I have a feature request, and we gather all of those, and we have a Slack channel where we share them with the team, and the guys review them and prioritize them and add them into the roadmap. So that's the best way to get those feature requests in right now. We've talked about other processes, but I think that is the easiest way. And yep, I said it. Says, so I can completely crop out the YouTube background and just get the video. Yeah, so just hold down that Option key and then use those arrows and it'll just crop, right in, and you'll get just the video. But yeah, watch out for those ads. It's the only thing that seems to happen, at least for me. But when you're going to crop, just remember to hit the Option key before you start grabbing the side to move it, because if you can also duplicate the scene and stuff like that. So yeah, exactly. When you're all ready to go, just hit lock. But yeah, it's and I've played around too with things like hidden countdown timers and things like that, which may be highly unnecessary for what you're doing. But I have sometimes where I'm rolling like a video clip using the widget overlays, and I want, when that clip's done, for just to go into the next scene so we can talk about what happened in the clip. You can use like a countdown timer that is like all black on a black background, for example, and then just set it so it goes to the next scene automatically. So yeah, you can pay YouTube to remove the ads. It's really worth it, honestly. Like I use YouTube Music as my podcast player and my like music app as well, and it's I highly recommend it. And I'm team Apple all the way. I still like Apple Podcasts a lot, but YouTube does a great job with the YouTube Music app, so it's worth it. Yes. So that's a good point, David. You can play the video ahead of time so the ad plays before you go live or record. Yep, you can do that for sure. I was like having panic over it the other day. I feel like I missed one in here somewhere. Maybe not. Yeah, Roy was saying to click on the apple in the top left corner. Yep, about this Mac, exactly. That's how you find out the the year of your Mac and the type.
Another way of submitting a feature request too is during the monthly Q&A with Ken and
Oh,
Glenn.
yeah. Actually, great reminder, because the next one for that is scheduled right now, and it's coming up on September 20th, so a little bit less than a month. I know we didn't do one in August. As I said, it's birthday month, so it's like Ken and Glenn had birthdays. Paul and I had birthdays. There's a lot of birthdays happening in August, so everyone was traveling a bunch and doing a bunch of stuff. So forgive us for not doing a August monthly Q&A, but we'll be back again in September, and we'll just do 2 gold mug club winners that 2 times that for that month. So it should be fun. Awesome. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So again, reminder, we have Tools and Tech workshop coming up next week. It starts on Tuesday and runs for 5 days of live sessions. And then there's a bonus bonus Zoom session, like a private Zoom Q&A. If you sign up, which is completely free, you just go to ecamm.tv/tech. That'll get you all signed up and get you all the extras and freebies and all of that. So that's worth it. And then again, we're doing this kind of showcase of all of our amazing shows, including this one on September 27th at 1:30 p.m. on LinkedIn. That's Eastern on LinkedIn with our friend Dan. So that's a really great opportunity to kind of see what all these shows are about. We have a lot of them, and they're really incredible. This is like actually a small representation of the live shows. We do also like a lot of workshops and live mini series and things like that. But there are some really great shows that are here on this channel and give you the opportunity to learn all kinds of things. So definitely take advantage of it. I love David saying that Alec's workshop is fire. Yeah, Alec knows a lot about a lot of things, but he certainly is a really great teacher when it comes to all of these external hardware devices and software as well. He'll be covering apps that work really well alongside Ecamm as well. But yeah, if you're like me and you got Doc rocked into buying a Rodecaster Pro or Duo or one of those things, I only know what Doc set up for me on this and don't know anything past it. So I think it'll be a really great opportunity to get just a better understanding of what's possible and some great ideas of how to use it better or really maximize my investment. So things like that I think will be great. Same with microphones and the Stream Deck, which I definitely don't maximize myself. So really great opportunity.
And we have over 1,000, probably more like 1,300 videos out on the YouTube channel for covering all kinds of things too. So go there, do a search, within the Ecamm community or the Ecamm channel, and look for stuff. You'll find a lot of things. On all kinds of different topics out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Paul was saying if you don't want to embed you can just download the video. So a tool like Downy is a great one to be able to just grab that video. Be careful when you're doing all this though. Again, don't end up in the YouTube jail or YouTube course if you're grabbing things that aren't yours. But yeah, it's definitely a great way to be able to show different things and show off video content.
YouTube doesn't like mentioning that word.
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably gonna end up in YouTube jail as a result. We'll have to bleep that out in the replay. Oh my goodness. Well, again, it never ceases to amaze me. An hour goes by so fast when we're hanging out with all of you. So I appreciate everyone's questions. I love getting on and doing this. And hey, it's been a while since we've done a Meet the Ecamm fam episode. So if you're sitting here in the chat or you're watching later on replay and you're like, hey, I'm an Ecamm user and I would love to let everyone know what I'm up to and how I use Ecamm, we'd love to have you on the show. Get in touch with me. Again, marketing@ecamm.com. And I'll send you over a calendar link, but we do those on Wednesdays as well as they come up. So yeah, as you are all willing to do them, I'm happy to jump on and let people know what you've been up to, but they're always a lot of fun for me and everyone else.
There's somebody in the audience. I will not mention her name, but she knows who I'm talking about. And I think she should contact you and talk to you because I think people would really like to know more about her.
Oh, I think I know. And I'm looking at you. Come hang out with me. I'm not very scary. It's really fun to hang out. It's a casual conversation just to let people know a a little bit more about you and all the different like use
Yeah.
cases within Ecamm. It's always just so nice to see what people are using it for and what they're creating. It's certainly super fun for me. Selfishly, it's mostly just for me to have fun. So come hang out and have fun with me.
Yes.
Oh,
It's fun.
awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much again, Paul, for hanging out and for all the work you do. And thanks
Thank
to
you.
everyone. We'll see you in the community and in the Discord space. Keep letting me know what next year's Leap should be about. Send in your ideas or people who you'd love to see as a speaker, or if you want to be a speaker. Now is a great time to send in all that information. And hopefully we'll see you all in the Tools and Tech workshop next week.
Yes. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Bye, everyone.
Bye.